Namaste. Welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. V. Premlata, working at the Department of Performing Arts, Sri Venkateshwara University, Tirupati. This is a module called Music Literature under the paper Indian Aesthetics and Fine Arts for the subject Indian Culture. Music literature. Today we are going to look at the written tradition or the textual works, the textual treatises that are available on the history, the theory and practice of music. Musicological works are also referred to as the Lakshana Granthas in common. In this module, we are going to look at a general idea about the technical treatises or the Lakshana Granthas, the different types of musicological works, and also a brief knowledge of the contents of select works. And this module will mainly focus on the Samskrita text on music. Music literature refers to the musicological works. These are popularly called the Lakshana Granthas. These describe how the music was practiced and how the music prevailed in ancient times. Usually, the practice and the theoretical information regarding to the art of music, and in ancient times it was a composite art. So music referred to the Gita, the singing part, Vadya, the instruments, Nritya, the dance, and other allied things together, and it was a composite art form. And down the ages, for the past 2000 years, when we look at it, we see that there have been a great change and lot of things have happened in the practice of the art. Briefly, we can see this textual tradition occurring in 4 different trends. The first one or the earliest one is the Samagana tradition, where we have the text relating to the Samagana, the Sikshas, and so on. And then comes the early Gandharva tradition or the Marga tradition. This covers the books like Natya Shastra and Dattila. And these can be organized from the 2nd century BC to the 2nd to 5th century AD. Later comes the Deshi period or the Deshi tradition, which is also called as the later Gandharva tradition. And there is a parallel Tamil music tradition which also consists of lot of information on the practice of music. These are all the 4 main traditions under which we can look at the music works. And the music works were composed from very ancient times. We find that the earliest of the works is the Natya Shastra of Bharata. And what are all now the available materials? How would one know what is the work which was written 2000 years before? Yes, all these works were documented. How? They were written down on palm leaf and later the paper. Silk cloth, the bark of trees and other materials, writing materials have also been used to document such music works. And these were consequently copied and again copied and transmitted throughout the generations. And thus, for the great help rendered for the past 2000 years, we see that all the works of the ancient period and medieval period are available to us today. These are all available in manuscript libraries and other research institutions. Just have a look at a sample of a few manuscripts on music. To your left, you see a paper manuscript titled Kohala Rahasyam. It is written in Devanagari script. This Kohala Rahasyam, what you see on the screen, is not the original one which was written by Kohala. It is the original work perhaps, but have been copied by a scribe. So now today it is available in the form of a paper or a notebook. Towards your right, you can see a palm leaf manuscript and a zoomed version of it below. This is written on the theory of music and it is written in Telugu script. So this is the way how the text have been preserved. And from the manuscripts, later on, for the past 100 years, we see that scholars have tried to interpret and decode and decipher the contents and bring them out in a readable book format. Now, let us look at the different types of music works. Some are published, some are not published. So hundreds of works are really lost and many are incomplete because due to many various factors, historically we see the sociological, the political, the geographical and the climatic destructions and disturbances, we see that many of the works are not available to us and people are not even bothered or they are not educated enough to find and realize that these are precious works and they have to be preserved. Unknowingly, many of the works have got lost. The titles, names of authors, the dates of thousands of works are yet to be discovered. But I would say that this is not the case with music works alone. It is with all other works of Indian literature. And great scholars like Pandit Ganapati Sastri, Sambasiva Sastri, Pandit Bhatkande, Professor Telang, Manavalli Ramakrishna Kavi and many others, such music works which were lying down in the form of manuscripts have come to limelight. I will tell you a few names of the published works, the Lakshana Granthas, namely the Natya Shastra of Bharata, Dattilam of Dattila Muni, Sangeeta Ratnakara of Sharangadeva, Chaturdandi Prakashika of Venkatamaki and so on. But still there are many other works, as I told you, are yet to be published and they are still in manuscript form. A few examples are Sangeeta Chandrika of Madhava Bhatta, Sangeeta Chintamani of Vema Bhupala and many others. We do not know the name of the work, we do not know the title and we do not know the identity of the works too. Here you can have a look at the new editions of a few musicological works. As I told you, editions and the book forms have come out in the past 100 years. And we should also note that a same book has undergone 2 or 3 editions, a revised edition and a critical edition and some text with English and other regional translations too. So this is Natya Shastram. You have 2 versions. So the left would be the text, the right contains the text, the commentary and other details. Now, how would we classify the music works? Music works can be classified into the works related to the Vedic period, to the Gandharva period, to the Deshi period, to the medieval period and modern period. The Gandharva period would include the works of the 2nd to 4th centuries, the later Deshi period up to the 13th century. Medieval period would refer to the works of the 14th, 15th to 17th, 18th centuries, the modern period or the musicological works which were written down in the past 2 centuries. Now you can see a list of music works. What do they mean? To your left you can see the subject matter which is focused in each of the books. For example, Natya Shastra is a work which deals mainly with Natya or the dramaturgy. As I told you, in Natya Shastra, Natya refers not to the main dance or Natya as we understand today, but it included many aspects within. Gita, Vadya, Nritya, many other things and also the drama content was there. And you have few other works which deal with the dance proper, like the Nritya Ratnavali, Nartan Nirnaya, Abhinaya Darpana. So such works would give us details on the various postures, the movements and the techniques of dancing. Now, I am speaking of music, but why do I bring in dance here? See, in the earlier period, dance and music were together and music was part of dance. And later, dance moved to a separate stream and we find works which are devoted particularly and separately, exclusively for music. And the term Sangeeta comes in some works of the medieval later Deshi period where we find the Sangeeta meant dance, Gita, Vadya and Nritya. So dance, music and drumming, the instrumental music. And later, today but we see that the Sangeeta refers only to the music proper. So from the list we also see that the Sangeeta Ratnakara, Sangeeta Raja, they all dealt with the Sangeeta wherein an art form which comprised Geeta, Vadya and Nritya. But the same term Sangeeta in works like Sangeeta Sara Sangrahamu, Sangraha Chudamani dealt with Geeta or music alone. We also have some music works which were devoted to the musical instruments like the Veena Prapataka, the Mridanga Lakshanamu. As we know, it dealt with Veena and Mridanga respectively. Thala is another important aspect of our Indian music which recognizes the concept of time, and time is common to both music and dancing and even Vadyas. So we have separate works called Thala Samudram, Talarnavam, Taladasha Prana Pradipika and so on, which dealt with the Thala or the time measure. See, Raga is another important aspect which refers to the melodic aspect of music. And later we see that some works were written particularly and devoted entirely to the Raga concept. Works are Raga Lakshanamu, Sadraga Chandrodaya, Ragamala and so on. Then we had another concept which evolved after the 15th to 16th centuries and developed in the 16th, 17th centuries called the Mela and the Janya system. And we have separate works which dealt with this concept, namely the Chaturdandi Prakashika, Sangraha Chudamani, Swaramela Kalanidhi and so on. So thus we understand that from the available books, one can estimate the evolution of music and the concepts relating to music. Another one aspect of looking at the musical works are the area or the region, the geographical area from where these works were written. For example, we see works like Anupa Sangeeta Vilasa, Anupa Sangeeta Ratnakara being developed from North India, the Sangeeta Sarani, Sangeeta Narayana and others from the Orissa region. The authors belong to the Orissa region. And some of the works like the Swaramela Kalanidhi, Sangeeta Suryodaya, Sangeeta Sara, they all came from the Vijayanagar area. And from the Andhra Pradesh, we see Sangeeta Chintamani of Vema Bhupala and who belong to the Kondavedu dynasty. Later from the Tanjore area, we've signed that some of the works which were written includes Sangeeta Sudha, Chaturdandi Prakashika, Raga Lakshanamu of Shahaji. So what do these mean? These mean to us that the authors who flourished, the authors who were patronized in one area started writing the theory and practice of music of that area, and today we are able to understand the music system which was practiced and which prevailed in that geographical area of India. And this also shows that unity in diversity in India includes the musical concepts also. Coming to the language of the music works, many of the musicological works are found to be written in Sanskrita, like the Natya Shastra, Dattilam, Brihadeshi. Some are also written in Telugu, like the Ragatala Chintamani of Poluri Govinda Kavi. Some works, as I told you, belonging to the Tamil tradition are written in Tamil language, namely the Panchamarabu, Thala Samudram, Bharata Sathiram, Mahabharata Chudamani and so on. There are also few works in Hindi. An example is the Man Kutuhal. What is a text? We were speaking about many texts. You would have listened to a lot of works now. These are all works which explain the theory and the practice of music in the form of verses. And these are all called as the mool or the original. And these are written in a very concise way. And one would require a commentary to understand an original or a moola text. So we also find that many commentaries have been written during the subsequent periods on a particular text. For example, the Natya Shastra of Bharata, which is said to have been composed in 2nd century, has got a commentary by Abhinava Gupta, which is titled Abhinava Bharati, being written in the 11th century. From the text, we also find out that, and there are so many commentaries which were composed, but many of them are not available to us. Likewise, the Sangeeta Ratnakara of Sharangdeva has got many commentaries. The notable among them are the Sangeeta Kalanidhi of Kallinatha, the Sangeeta Sudhakara of Simhabhupala, which are published, and the Sangeeta Setu of Gangarama in Hindi, which is yet to be published. And Somanatha is an author who wrote a book called Ragavibodha, and for which he himself wrote a Viveka, a commentary. So the author himself has also composed a commentary for his work so that people would understand his work and what he meant in his work. Now, let us have a look at different Lakshana Granthas or the music works, a few important aspects of the contents dealt in each of them. The first one that we are going to look at today is Natya Shastra of Bharata. Natya Shastra of Bharata is the earliest available work on Natya or dramaturgy, which is written between the 2nd century BC and the 2nd century AD. This is considered as an encyclopedic work because it gives details of all aspects of theatre. And this not only includes the way an art has to be presented, but the hall, the theatre, the audience and other repository and again other supplementary information which is required for a successful performance of an art. The principles, techniques and other aspects described in this Natya Shastra also now exist in other theatre forms like the Kudiyatam, the Yakshagana, the Terukuttu. These three are very famous in the Kerala, Andhra and Tamil Nadu regions. Natya Shastra work as such consists of 36 chapters and they deal with the different aspects of drama or Natya. The origin of Natya, the structure and construction of a theatre, the Purva Ranga, which is a preliminary ritual which has to be conducted before the start of a theatre performance, the Tandava, the 8 kinds of rasa, 4 types of abhinaya, Dasharupaka, Vritti, Dhruvagana, Gita, Vadya, Tala, Nirgita, Gitaka, these are all the musical forms, the gunas and doshas, that is the merits and demerits of musicians, instrumentalists and many other such things are dealt with in this Natya Shastra in detail in these 36 chapters. In that, the chapters 28 to 34, they are mainly devoted to Gita and instruments, that is the music part. This work is of great importance to many of the music scholars to understand the evolution of musical concepts. The various aspects of music which are dealt in these 28 to 34 chapters are the 7 swaras, the Shadja, Rishabha, Gandhara, Madhyama, all the 7 swaras, the 3 gramas, they call the 3 gramas, the Shadja grama, Madhyama grama, Gandhara grama, and the 14 murchanas which are evolved from these gramas, the tanas, 18 jatis, the 4 varnas, alankaras, all these are explained. I would suggest you to go through the books that have been suggested in part 4, the extended reading, so that one who is interested to know about all these things can get an idea from the books. The music system which is described in Natya Shastra is called as the Marga Sangita, Marga or the Gandharva. The Gandharva refers to the ancient system, and what is said is that this is a kind of art form or the music or the Natya when practiced leads us to liberation or moksha. It gives adrishta phala. That's how it is explained, the result of performing Natya as in Bharata's Natya Shastra. Bharata has not only written in detail about many concepts, but he has quoted ancient writers who belong to the period before him and the scholars on this subject. He has drawn extracts from many rare works, and Natya Shastra has remained as one of the main sources for us today to understand those scholars and their works, because we do not have any other reference or evidence to understand such works. And commentaries, as I told you, or descriptions of a text have been written on the work, but the very popular one is Abhinavagupta's Abhinava Bharati. This was written in the 11th century AD. The next work that we are going to look at it today is the Dattilam. This is again a contemporary work of Natya Shastra composed by Dattila. It's very small and consists of only 244 verses. It deals with the science of the Gandharva system. There are 3 sections. First, it begins with an invocation and a preface, that is the Swarodesha, where he says what are all being dealt, and then the Swara and the Talodesha. These are the topics. So we have very less material regarding to this work, and unfortunately the rest of the work is still not available to us. It is lost. Probably it should be available in due course of time when we take some serious research and try to bring out the contents of many of the manuscripts. Dattilam speaks of 12 topics in Swarodesha. I told you Swarodesha and Talodesha are available. So Swarodesha deals with Shruti, Swara, Grama, Murchana, Tana, Sthana, Vritti, Shushka, Sadharana, Jati, Varna and Alankara. Please don't get worried about these technical terms. These were all the terms which help them to give us the information of music concepts which prevailed in that time. Only those who are interested can get into the details looking at the critical editions with English translations of these works. In the Talodesha, the topics like Kala, Phata, Padabhaga, Matra and many others are being discussed. Though Natya Shastra and Dattilam, they belong to the same period. As I told you, they are contemporary works. There still remains some differences between them. But though they all try to convey identical thoughts, but the way they present and there has been some identity between the 2 works. The next work which we are going to look at it today is Brihadeshi. This is considered as an important treatise or a Lakshana Grantha on the Deshi system. Now, what is Marga? What is Deshi? Marga refers to the earlier period, which the music of that period is referred to in books like Natya Shastra and Dattilam. Deshi music belongs to a little later period, and it deals with the music of the different regional differences too. And there have come lot of variations and diversifications in the system of music. Brihadeshi was written by Matanga, and the exact date is not known, but from internal and other evidences we come to know that we can place it around 7th century AD. The available work of Brihadeshi deals with only Gita. References in the later works confirm that it also contained chapters related to Tala, Vadya and Nritya, but the available work of Brihadeshi do not contain such portions of text. The work starts with the definition of the term Deshi. It refers to the subtle sound, the way the author puts in lot of concepts. Then the term Nada is described. As I mentioned you in the other module, Nada is a term which is used to represent the musical sound, the first musical sound. And this is basis for all forms of activities relating to music and dance. One can understand the scientific and very serious and very systematic way of explaining the concepts in such Lakshana Granthas. Brihadeshi deals with Grama, Murchana, Varna, Alankara, Jati, Raga and Prabandha. It is also said that Brihadeshi is the first work which refers to the term Raga. And Matanga has extracted and quoted from many earlier works of Kashyapa, Durga Shakti, Yashtika. Again, Brihadeshi now becomes an important evidence to understand what Kashyapa, Durga Shakti and Yashtika told about music and related concepts. Brihadeshi is also the first treatise in music. As I told you, the term Raga is used and many other developments of the music system. Abhinavagupta, Sharangadeva, Rana Kumbha, these were the later writers on music. They all have quoted extensively from Brihadeshi's the concepts. The next work that we are going to see at today is Bharata Bhashya. This is an important work which was written by Nanya Bhupala. He is a Mithila king and he belonged to 12th century AD. The work Bharata Bhashya is also known under the name Saraswati Hridayalankara Hara. This work deals with various aspects of music and it starts with the information on the Vedic music. He gives a lot of elaborate description on Natya Shastra of Bharata and probably hence this is called as Bharata Bhashya. He makes a detailed discussion of Matanga's Brihadeshi also. See, now to understand Brihadeshi, Bharata Bhashya would be very useful to us because a description and a elaboration of Matanga's ideas through Nanya Bhupala in his Bharata Bhashya would be helpful for us. The work consists of 17 chapters and describes the Saman music in the Siksha Prakarana. As I told you, Bharata Bhashya begins with the Vedic music. And many topics like Swara, Murchana, Tana, Alankara, Jati, Ragotpatti, Sapta Gitakas, Dhruva, Tala, Deshi, then Shushira, Pushkara, Chandas, and these are all the topics which have been dealt in Bharata Bhashya of Nanya Bhupala. This is such a voluminous work. It consists of 7,000 verses. But unfortunately, 2 of the chapters are still missing. They are yet to be discovered. Another important and a great work of music literature is the Sangeeta Ratnakara of Sharangadeva. It is a monumental work written in the 13th century. Another one aspect which we have to remember while studying these music works, today we have 2 different streams or the systems of music in India. The southern system is called as the Karnataka system and the northern music is called as the Hindustani system. But this bifurcation is said to have come into practice in a later period like the post 14th or 15th centuries. And many of the works which we are now talking about were written during the period when the whole of India had in common a single music system. And this Sangeeta Ratnakara is such a work which speaks of the Indian music as a whole. Whole I mean the whole of India. Though there were regional differences which were very little, but they had a common idea among them. The author of Sangeeta Ratnakara was Sharangadeva and he was in the court of the Yadava king Singana, whose capital was Devagiri and now it is called as Daulatabad in Maharashtra. Sangeeta Ratnakara basically deals with Sangeeta. As I told you, the Sangeeta in Sangeeta Ratnakara refers to a composite art form which included Geeta, the music part, Vadya, the drumming part, and Nritya, the dance and the limb movements. There are basically 7 chapters in this work: the Swaragatadhyaya, Ragavivekadhyaya, Prakiranakadhyaya, Prabandhadhyaya, Ragadhyaya, Taladhyaya, Vadyadhyaya, and Nartanadhyaya. The first chapter is divided into 8 sections. It commences with the genealogy of the author and gives a note on the earlier authorities on the subject from whom he had gathered information. So this is also an important information for us when he says that so and so I have referred to and so I am presenting in this way. So he is very clear about his presentation. The first chapter deals with topics like the Nada, Shruti, Swara, Grama, Murchana. Second chapter is devoted to the Ragas, wherein we have the Marga Ragas, the Deshi Ragas and many of its classification and types. The next chapter deals with the miscellaneous topics related to music like the qualities of a singer, types of singers, sthaya, gamaka, alapti and many other things. The next chapter, the 4th one, deals with the prabandhas. Prabandhas are the musical forms, their sections, their types and varieties. The 5th chapter with the Margatalas, followed by the description of 120 types of Deshi Talas, which is ended with the Tala Prastara. The 6th chapter deals with the classification of instruments into Tata, Shushira, Avanadha and Gana Vadyas. Following this, there are 43 Vadya Prabandhas, the forms which were predominantly played on different kinds of drums. In the last Adhyaya, Sharangadeva gives an extensive description of the Nritya and Natya. These are all the various aspects relating to the dance, Abhinaya, Rasa and other body movements, limb movements. The work is considered to be an most authoritative one written on the art form. As we today, for any kind of research and study, we definitely quote from Sharangadeva's Sangita Ratnakara. And this Sangita Ratnakara ever remains as an important source to many early works and a guide to the later works. And later writers of India have followed Sangita Ratnakara and Sharangadeva's concepts in presenting their own ideas too. And this is also considered as a book which serves as a bridge between the ancient period and the medieval period. As I told, there are a few commentaries written on this. The Sangita Ratnakara's commentaries called the Sudhakara and the Kalanidhi. A voluminous and a big work which we come across in music history is Sangita Raja, written by Rana Kumbha, who was the king of Mewar. He was said to be an expert in Sangita, Sahitya and Nritya. Sangita Raja is also known as Sangita Mimamsa. It is an extensive work dealing with music, dance and instruments. The chapters or the adhyayas of this work are called by the name Ratnakosha. So we have the Patya Ratnakosha, Gita Ratnakosha, Vadya Ratnakosha, Nritya Ratnakosha and Rasa Ratnakosha. All the concepts have been described in detail in Sangita Raja by Kumbha. There are about 16,000 verses spread over 80 chapters with 5 main adhyayas. And Kumbha has also quoted many earlier writers in his work. The work Swaramela Kalanidhi is the one which we are going to look at it now. This was written by Ramamatya in the year 1550. He belonged to the Vijayanagar Empire and he worked as a minister in the court of Ramaraya. This work mainly deals with the melodic aspects of music and we find no description of dance. The Swara, Mela and Raga are the main concepts and hence probably the name Swaramela Kalanidhi. There are 5 chapters in this work which covers an introduction, enumeration of the Shuddha Vikrita Swaras. These are Shuddha Vikrita Swaras mean the different kinds of Swara varieties according to their pitch and the sound intervals. Illustration of Swaras on the frets of Veena. Now, for the first time we see how, because a Veena, as we had discussed in a chapter on the musical instruments, Veena has got 24 frets as of today, but earlier Veena had contained different number of frets. So now how the fretting is done, how each swara had to be placed in a particular fret, then how the fret has to be produced or how the fret has to be placed and how the entire Veena has to be manufactured so as to produce the required tonal quality or the swaras and thereby the ragas which were prevalent in that period, and such other details how to place the swaras on a fret, and such other details are being explained extensively and elaborately in Swaramela Kalanidhi. And he gives a list of 20 melas, their Janya ragas and also their characteristic features or the lakshanas. The Swaramela Kalanidhi speaks of the Shuddha Vikrita Swaras which were enumerated in the 2nd chapter of work in the 3rd chapter, the Veena Prakarana. He speaks of 3 types of Veena, the Suddha Mela Veena, Madhya Mela Veena and Achyuta Rajendra Mela Veena. The author also speaks of some subtones or Swayambhu Swaras which are produced on the strings of Veena. When 2 or more sounds are produced, we find a 3rd sound being produced without our own effort. It gets produced on its own, and such other subtle nuances and other details have also been dealt with in this work. Swaramela Kalanidhi is an important work in music literature because the contents are more relevant to the present day music, and it serves as a primary source for the study relating to the construction and fretting of the Veena and the classification of present day ragas. The next work which we are going to study today is the Sangita Sudha. This was written in the year 1614 and the work is actually attributed to Raghunatha Nayaka, though it was originally written by his minister Govinda Dikshita. Reference to this work is found in the Chaturdandi Prakashika of Venkatamaki. Sangeeta Sudha deals with various aspects of music like nada, swara, shruti, jati, ragas, the differences, the alapa, prabandhas and ragas, and the alapa for these ragas and other things. The author mentions that the work consists of 7 chapters, but the available edition we have only 4. This means that though the author has stated that there are 7, the other things are lost or yet to be discovered. The available chapters are the introduction chapter, the raga, prakirnaka and prabandha adhyayas. The main significance of Sangeeta Sudha is that the author gives extracts from another work called Sangeeta Sara, written by Vidyaranya. But unfortunately, Vidyaranya's Sangeeta Sara is not available to us anywhere. That means we do not have even a single manuscript called Sangeeta Sara of Vidyaranya. In that case, the extracts given in this Sangeeta Sudha is the main source material for us to understand the work, the identity of the work, the content of the work, Sangeeta Sara. Govinda's description of the alapa for the ragas is very important because it gives us an idea of the melodic structure of the ragas pertaining to that period. His description of the 3 kinds of veenas is also very, very attractive. The works present the ideas of many earlier authorities on this subject. The next work, which was written in the following period of Govinda Dikshita, is Venkatamaki's Chaturdandi Prakashika. Again, these were all the works that emerged from the Tanjavur area. This Chaturdandi Prakashika has got 10 chapters which deals with the Veena, Shruti, Swara, Mela, Raga, Alapa, Thaya, Gita, Prabandha and Tala. Of these, the later part of the Prabandha and the Tala chapters are missing. Chaturdandi Prakashika is said to be named so because it is considered that 4 important aspects for music, that is Gita, Thaya and Prabandha and Alapa, they are like pillars to understand the music system. So he says Chaturdandi Prakashika, the one which glitters or which shines through these 4 pillars, namely Gita, Thaya, Prabandha and Alapa. Venkatamaki is the founder of the famous 72 Mela scheme, and the permutation and combinations of the 7 swaras and the 12 swarasthanas and 16 varieties has been the foremost and the best for the southern system and later to the northern system too. And we find that that has been the great inspiration for many other ragas and melas and janyas to evolve in the recent years. Ramamatya, the author of Swaramela Kalanidhi, has been very seriously criticized by Chaturdandi Prakashika. Why? Venkatamaki was not an enemy of Ramamatya. We have to understand that music concepts had so much differed between the 2 periods, and hence the concepts that were being spoken of by Ramamatya in his Swaramela Kalanidhi have been criticized. In that case, they have changed. A lot of changes have taken place within a century. The next work of very great importance is also the Sangraha Chudamani. This is a treatise written by Govindacharya in the 18th century. This consists of 2 bhagas, namely the Purva Bhaga and the Uttara Bhaga. The Purva Bhaga has the introduction, the Prathamadhyaya, Dvitiya and Tritiyadhyayas. Uttara Bhaga speaks of the 72 Melakarta scheme, the Janya Ragas and the Lakshana Gitas, which were composed for these ragas. This is considered as a very important work for music history because it speaks of many contemporary ragas of South Indian classical music. References to many ragas that we sing today are found primarily in the Sangraha Chudamani of Govinda. Till now, we have found that many works have been written through the ages. And from the description, we also come to know that many of the works are partially available and are yet to be discovered and yet to be commented upon, yet to be translated, and many works are still in the dark. But still, with the available works, we can understand the various music concepts which were found in the respective periods of history being dealt with in these works, though they are in different languages, maybe in Sanskrit or in Telugu or in any other language. We find that an English translation which is being brought now in recent times are very helpful to understand the music of this period. So, the music literature gives an idea of the different kinds of music practices of the periods of history and the music practices down the age. I think this module would have been useful for you. For further details regarding each of the works, you can refer to the material which has been given under module quadrant 4. Hope this will help you to understand the written tradition of music. Thank you.